This is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about how a high-fat diet makes you diabetic. Now we're talking about losing fat. Well, it's all in the details, and it turns out it's saturated animal fat we're worried about. The type you make when you store calories. You store saturated triglycerides in your fat cells and in your stomach and your gut and that rubber tire around your belly. Well, why is it important? Well, here's some nuance. First of all, you can only lose weight if you turn off insulin, because insulin is your storage hormone, present to be supposedly in nature only when you are in times of calorie excess, fall, when there's carbs growing and fruiting. But then you turn on insulin, you store calories. The problem is fats don't do that. High glycemic foods make you gain weight, but concentrated protein also turns on insulin. And a high protein diet, in effect, is also the same thing as a high carb diet. It's just as fattening. But that's not what really matters. And what the real finding is a whole new finding about what really turns on insulin-dependent diabetes. And that is adult onset diabetes. And that is a protein called protein kinase C epsilon, PKC-e epsilon. It's an enzyme that inhibits insulin when it's activated. It puts on a tag on the insulin receptor, basically makes it inactive. The insulin receptor makes it inactive. And we thought it was located in your liver. And what's come out now is we now know it is actually distributed everywhere, particularly in your belly fat. So once you eat a whole lot of carbs and put a little bit of rubber tire around your tummy, you start becoming insulin resistant because you are tagging the insulin receptor and it no longer works. You now need a higher level of insulin to respond just to ordinary blood sugar levels because you've become insulin resistant. And that starts a vicious cycle. And that vicious cycle is your higher insulin makes you store calories all the time, so you put on weight more easily and you have a harder time even losing weight. The only way to get around it is to reverse engineer it. And that is, you have to stop eating high animal fat food. Animals fed grains, eggs, whole milk, cheese, marbled steak, all the things we think of delicious, all things that are Nadkins. Remember, we now know that the top 10% of animal protein consumers get the top 10% of heart disease from the Harvard Professional Men's Health Study. So, conclusion, eating too much saturated animal fat is causal to making you insulin-dependent diabetic. And having too much around your tummy, we now know it's PKC epsilon that's causing it. What will work for me? The solution is more green vegetables and more good, healthy oils, both of which turn into beta-hydroxybutyrate when you eat them. Healthy oils are like olive oil, macadamia oil, avocado oils. This is Dr. John Whitcomb wishing you the best. Stay away from saturated animal fat. It's what's making you diabetic.